Today I have put one more idea into its deathbed. For the last 3 months I've been bouncing around since I gave up on this product that I was building and I left this team. And I've been figuring out kind of what business is next. Before this, I was really fully focused on my development agency, which I still have, and I still I have one client on the back burner basically, and the team does that, but I haven't been focused on that. But the past few weeks, I was really interested in this M&A business idea that I had, and I think it's got a lot of promise in it. I think it's got a lot of merit to it. I still think it's a good idea, but in Portugal specifically, which is a market that I have the most access to right now, it's not a good play. And that comes from a kind of cultural barrier, which is that people here don't want to sell their business. And that has a lot to do with their pride and how here business is very much seen as, if you start a business, you're going to want to run it for a very long time, and then you want it to run in the family and so forth. And if you sell if you sell your business, you're kind of like selling out. And people view that pretty negatively. And so a lot of people would rather close their business than sell it to somebody else or to a competitor or something like that. And so that being the case, it sucks for a business that is all about M&A. And right now, Lisbon is the market that I have the most direct access to. Maybe Singapore as well, but I'm not in Singapore right now. So I want to support other ideas while I'm here. I'll probably be in Singapore in January, and maybe I bring this back up around then. But in the meantime, like that M&A business for Portugal and the Iberian Peninsula, I really thought had a little bit more possibility to it, but I think it also just doesn't play to my advantages. So what I mean by that is it's really a market where I have a lot of ignorance debt. One other opportunity that's actually totally outside of that is to do with care homes. I happen to have a cousin who was a nurse at a care home for some time, and she basically has some random connections into this. And so I have some access, and one of my clients that I built software for was in that space. And so I have actually some direct experience as well. And so maybe this is something that I can explore here. And so that's actually what I'm toying around with at the moment. But outside of that, essentially for immediate cash flow purposes, I think the best vehicle, like if I'm not in a position to pursue funding in the short term, is going to be the agency. But the agency that I have historically has not been sufficiently niche. And I've spoken about this many times before, but if you really want to grow your agency, that's what you have to do. Finding a niche, though, is easier said than done. I've tested a couple, but I realized I might have a bit of an edge or some interest, at least, in consumer mobile apps. This is just something that I personally enjoy making. Nothing kind of majorly strategic or some big secret. If there's an area which I could get really, really good at, I think that is one that I could double down on, and I'm kind of considering. It's been a little bit of a drag the last little while. Yeah, I don't know where things will take me, but I'm getting involved in a little hackathon in a couple of weeks over here in Lisbon. That's just like a 2-day thing. Honestly, it's to try and meet people because I don't know enough people around the startup and that kind of scene here. And to be honest, I think that is my worst enemy right now. It's this isolation, being stranded in no man's land. That really, really sucks. And I think that's where I will lose the most, is if I don't find my way into good circles and communities. And if I'm honest, that has definitely been a struggle so far. I have not been able to find the communities that I wanted to over here. So for the time being, that idea put to rest. I mean, at this point, it's part of the circle of what I'm going through. What might be interesting to me is to try and figure out a way which maybe I can help people who are in industries that I find interesting and participating in larger economies effectively. Because if I'm not able to build that circle of people around me where I am, then I really need to find a way to do that, even if that means getting out of here somehow. I think that's probably my the biggest next upgrade that I could make is either that or doubling down on the agency and actually seeing some results from it, right? But I have to put a kind of time limit on that to make sure that I can see something. So this is a little small update on kind of what the hell is going on. As usual, thank you for watching. I mean, I think this has been maybe one of the more boring periods to witness. It hasn't been particularly fun for me, but I suppose it's part of the road. That being said, I'm probably going to go to the gym soon. Leave any questions in the comments below.